Morning, hi. I'm rushing a little bit today because my son, my baby son, who is actually 29, is coming to visit. So I've got to go and get him from the train station in a minute, and I'm really excited. I just quickly wanted to come on and share a few thoughts that I've been having around um, damage. That sounds a bit odd, I know. Damage. I've been involved in a couple of conversations recently with people about how what's happened to us in the past can feel like we're damaged or broken somehow. And I'm going to post in the links, post in the comments, a link to a really nice article about the Japanese art of repairing pottery with that gold or resin with gold powder on it, so that actually the damage that's happened, once you take something and you love it and you repair it, the damage that's happened becomes beautiful. And the article, the name of the article is Kintsugi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, that's the Japanese word. The Art of Precious Scars. And it's been reminding me, or it's been running alongside the thought I've been thinking about. It sounds bizarre, but I've been thinking about one of my old dogs. Because I've been trying to sort out email addresses and various things, and my partner's been helping me. I've had a domain name for a very long time, that I've sort of got in the back of my head that I'm going to use it as a sort of a hobby at some point, something along the lines of upcycling furniture or sort of gathering vintage things, and just, I'm not sure. But it's there. And the name of this domain is Snaggletongue. And Snaggletongue comes from, it's a nickname that we had from an old dog of mine. A dog who came to me, he was only a year old, he'd come from rescue. All of my dogs are rescue dogs. He'd come from rescue, and he'd been under-socialised. He hadn't been, he hadn't been brought up as a puppy in the right way. He hadn't been exposed to the things in a gentle, secure way that would help him to be confident. So he was a very anxious dog. And like some dogs are when they're anxious, he would cover that by barking a lot. So he was a very barky, reactive dog. Um, and and he was so difficult. He was the most difficult dog I've ever owned, and it took such a long time to even get him to be around other dogs. When I first took him to training, we had to work in a separate room with a door between us. So the teacher would be in a classroom with one set of dogs, and I would be in a separate room listening to her and doing the exercises with my very reactive, mad dog, who I loved to bits. He was absolutely my heart dog. Um, and yeah, he was scarred. He had precious scars. The reason Snaggletongue came about was because when we got him, and forever afterwards, he had a split in his tongue. And I don't know if that was done, if one of his litter mates bit him, or if, I don't know when the injury was done. And it had healed, and it didn't bother him at all, but he had a split in his tongue, and a little piece missing. So we used to call him Snaggletongue. Taz Snaggletongue. Superterrier. He was gorgeous. I'll post a picture of him as well, but that'll be later after I've got my son. So he was a very damaged little dog, but I loved him to bits, and he taught me so much. He taught me about being gentle and kind with him. Because of him, I had to go and look up all sorts of things and read around, how to positively interact with this very scared little dog. And even things like the milk float that used to go past our house. He had no idea what one of those were. I think he'd been born on a farm, a rural farm somewhere, and nobody had taken time. And like with a lot of dogs, they get to about a year old, and then their behaviour is untenable for the family that have got them. They end up in rescue. And I worked with him. He was with me until he was about 16 years old when he died. And he was feisty, and I loved him to bits. But yes, he had, you know, he had those emotional scars, he had the he had the damaged tongue, but he was cute, and he was loving, and he was gorgeous, and I loved him to bits. And sometimes our history needs some working, some gentle working, so that we can learn to react better to the world that we live in, just like Taz had to do. But our history doesn't mean that we are worthless or damaged. There's still a lot of beauty within all of us. Beauty and being able to function well and being loving. All of this is not precluded by stuff that's happened in the past. Anyway, those were I've really got a dash now. Those were just it was funny, random threads coming together, and so I'm going to post a few things in the comments. Have a great day and a really nice bank holiday weekend. Take care.